Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing a long overdue Q&A. You guys have given me some really great questions to answer and I'm going to answer them all today. This is a juicy Q&A because you guys have all the questions and you want to know all the stuff. If you're new here, I am Becca. I am a single mom to 3 boys and I do a lot of lifestyle, motherhood content on this channel. I even squeeze in some makeover videos every now and then because I love to decorate. If you like that type of content, I hope you choose to stick around, and today's Q&A will definitely give you more insight on who I am and what's going on in my life. I have been separated from my ex for a year now. If you are new here and you didn't know that, I have been separated for a year. We get along good. Everything is, pretty good on that front. Or as good as it could be, I guess you could say. But a lot of questions on what's going on with that and all that kind of stuff. So let's hop right into it. The first question is the latest update on my health. And as far as my health, everything seems pretty good. After my surgery last week, I was super tired and super lethargic, and I just was not feeling great. So it took me a while to get back in the swing of things, and I was just doing the bare minimum last week, but I feel great this week. I feel like I'm back to myself. However, I won't have any results with the stent until months from now. So in a few months, they will give me a scan and check the stent to see if it's completely taken care of the aneurysm or only partially, or what's going on. And if it hasn't gotten rid of the aneurysm, they will do that surgery again in the future to try and completely get rid of it. So it's just a waiting game at this point. And then as far as the blood patch with my CSF leak, that worked, but it didn't eliminate the problem. Unfortunately, I still have the headaches. They just aren't nearly as bad. They've been reduced a lot, but it's still there, which means whenever I come off the blood thinners from the aneurysm, I will have to try and figure out again, what the next step is for that. But that's on pause while I'm on blood thinners because I can't do any spinal taps or blood patches or anything while on blood thinners. You could bleed out. So it's pretty serious. There's a lot that you have to be careful of when you're on blood thinners. So I just have to sit and wait, but thankfully my headaches aren't nearly as bad. I mean, they're very minute, so it's completely tolerable, but that is what's happening with my health right now. Next question is plans for summer. The only thing I have planned this summer so far is to go back home. I will probably go back home the week of the 4th because in Chris's and I's agreement with the kids, he takes the kids for the week of the 4th. Every year. That's the week he'll take them every summer. And so I think I'm going to try and go back home for, at least a few days by myself, go hang out with friends. And, there's this thing. So I'm originally from Connecticut, and in Connecticut, there is this thing called Sail Fest and Subfest. They do them. It's usually the weekend of and the weekend after. And I love going to both of them. It's so much fun. And it's kind of nostalgic too because I grew up doing that stuff. So if I go that week, I probably will go. And if that's going on the weekend that I'm there, then I'll go ahead and do that. But as of right now, I don't have any really big plans this summer. We are doing Disney for spring break. So I don't think after Disney, I will be able to afford to do really big plans for the summer. So we probably will just keep it really low key and just do a lot of fun things. The beach, I mean, we have so much here in Charleston, South Carolina that there's so much to do here. We can go to the beach, we can go to parks, we can go to the pool and all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of friends who have pools too. So this summer should be a lot of fun, even just staying home. What area of South Carolina do you live in? And I just said that. So I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I live right on the coast, which is awesome. I love it here. I think Charleston is a beautiful city and it's a great place to live. There's so much to do here. I mean, there's endless things to do here. There's endless jobs here. There's so many opportunities. So I love where we live. Would I ever consider Patreon if I combined both of my channels? This is something I had thought about whenever a lot of other YouTubers started doing Patreon, especially within my niche. I really struggle with it though, right? I have a very big loyalty to everybody here, and something feels wrong. This is just me and how I feel. So if you're a YouTuber, please don't take this the wrong way, and never say never, right? I won't say that I won't ever do it, but as of right now, the way I feel is I would feel wrong charging you for content, right? I just don't feel like it's right to charge you for content. I could put it on this platform and, you know, in turn do sponsorships and make money that way instead of charging you for it, which sponsorships doesn't cost you any money. You know, you could watch it if you wanted to, or you could fast forward this through the sponsorship. So for me, I don't think I will ever do that. I guess it would depend on how everybody here felt about it. If majority of everyone here felt like, you know, you wanted me to do that and you're okay with it, then I would obviously do it, because I would rather do something like Patreon and have it behind a paywall and not have to do sponsorships to make income that way. I don't know. I guess it could be like, but at the end of the day, I just don't feel, I don't have the money to go do a bunch of, you know, subscriptions through Patreon. And I would hate to lose a lot of people who would be in that same position, especially a lot of people who've been here since the beginning or been here for a long time. I wouldn't want to do that. So probably not. I probably wouldn't ever do that. But like I said, never say never. But that's where I'm at right now. What are your favorite shows on Netflix? It's interchanging all the time, to be honest. So right now I just finished the new season of Love is Blind, and honestly, I've never watched Love is Blind, and I think this was like the 6th season, but it was all over TikTok. Everybody was talking about it, so I was really interested in seeing what it was about, and it was really good. It was a really good season, but that's what I just finished watching. I do like Virgin River on Netflix, Stranger Things. I'm trying to think. And then there's like a few true crime things that I really like. I think Cold Cases is one of them, but I don't watch a lot of like newer things because I just don't have time to. I've been wanting to watch the new movie with Kristen Bell on there. It's about like couponing or something. It looks super funny. It looks good, but I just don't have time to sit down and watch a movie right now. So it's not, I rewatch a lot of the same shows. Schitt's Creek, which I rewatch that all the time on Hulu. I rewatch, you know, like I'll watch like Housewives, because I feel like even if I haven't seen it yet, like it's background noise, I can like listen to it. I watch a lot of shows that I don't have to engage too much with. I've rewatched Friends like a million times, so, but nothing currently. I just finished Love is Blind, and there's nothing currently that I'm starting. If you had a girl, what would you have named her? I love this question because we actually didn't know what we were having when we had Tristan. And so we had a girl name picked out and a boy name. Chris had picked Tristan. I had no boy names picked out. I kind of just let him have the boy name. He picked Tristan. He really liked that. And then we decided on Alana for a girl. So if Tristan ended up being a girl, her name would have been Alana. Did you want more children? This is a loaded question. I feel like... Did I want more children? Yes. I always wanted to have a lot of kids and have a big family. If I was with somebody who wanted to have more kids, or, you know, just didn't really care how many kids they had, then I probably could have had anywhere from 4 to 6 kids. I'm not gonna lie. I love the baby stage. I love being a mom. I feel like once you have a few, like adding another one on is really just not that big of a deal. However, Chris did not want to have more kids, and at this point in my life, I do not want to have more kids. I'm getting older, and I don't want to rush into a relationship because I feel like I want to have more kids, and I don't want to, I'm not sure I even want to complicate another relationship with kids, because it does bring so much, you know, forward when you have kids with somebody. So I'm pretty sure I'm completely done with having kids. Once again, never say never, but if the situation was right with Chris and I, if he wanted to have more kids, because he wanted to only have 1 or 2. So if he had wanted to have more kids, I would have had more kids. However, you know, we compromised, and I said I wanted to have 2 close in age, so they had each other, and he was willing to do that. So, you know, that's what worked for us. If you moved to another state, what state would it be? I love this question. However, I have no idea. I have always been intrigued with like Oregon and Washington. I just think it's beautiful out there. Northern California, like really Northern California, I guess, would be a very similar like scheme as well, or scene. I honestly, I would want to, if I didn't have kids, or if I had kids that were like homeschooled that could move around or whatever, I probably would just move around everywhere, to be honest. There's so many beautiful places that I want to see, and not necessarily move to, I guess, but really just kind of travel to. So if I had it in me, I would homeschool my kids, buy a camper, and literally just travel like around the United States, stay somewhere for a few months, and then move on to the next place. But I don't want to do it by myself because that would be too scary. And I don't think a lot of people want to sign up for a ride like that. Do you see yourself moving back to your home state to be closer to family? First, my family isn't even really in Connecticut anymore, which is kind of ironic and funny because my whole family is from there. My whole family is from like that general area where I'm from, except for my grandfather's side of the family is from Staten Island. So most of my family is from where I grew up, right? But a lot of them, since I have left, have kind of moved on different places. My grandparents passed away. My sister's in Arkansas. You know, I have cousins that are in Arizona. So it's like everybody is kind of dispersed everywhere now. I still have some family there, and I have a ton of like childhood friends there. And I've always wanted to go back home. I'm not gonna lie. I've always wanted to go back home. It was something that Chris and I frequently talked about, was potentially moving back home. But it just isn't in the cards for me, I don't think, right now. Chris has a great job here. He doesn't want to leave here, and I'm not going to move away with the kids. So I think we're probably staying here in South Carolina, but I would be lying if I said I haven't thought about moving back. I love the fall. I miss snow sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. I miss, you know, where I live in Charleston, it's very populated, so there's a lot of houses and there's not a lot of greenery, and you know, you don't have a lot of land and stuff like that. And I do miss that. I miss like the older houses up north. So I do miss it. I think about it often, but I don't think it's a possibility. Would you consider dating? Would it be too soon or too painful? I have considered dating for sure. I think anybody who's single and who's been single as long as I've been single now, I've been single for a year now, over a year now. I think anybody who's been single for this long has definitely considered it, right? And it's been something I've thought about. However, every time I think about hopping in and dating, the thought of it also is kind of like too much work. Like, that's just the honest truth. Too much work. I have so much going on in my life as it is. I don't know how I could maintain a relationship. I don't know how, to me, it's like I could probably date, right? But it would have to be super casual and not frequently, because I have my kids so often and my life is so busy. I have a really great group of friends that I love to spend time with on the weekends, so I wouldn't be willing to give up a lot of time to somebody, and I don't think that would be fair if I'm dating. You know, most people who are dating, they want something serious. They want to be with somebody, and I don't think it would be fair for me to step out into the dating scene and be like, hey, I'm willing to give you 2 days a month. Like, I don't think that would be fair. And for me right now, that's about all I'm willing to give. As far as it being too painful, no. I think Chris and I are both past that point, so I don't think it would be too painful. We're pretty much past that point, so I don't think that it would cause any drama or there'd be any pain or anything like that. So how are you feeling after surgery? This week, I'm feeling great. Finally back to normal. What would you tell your younger self? I would tell my younger self that life gets easier. I had my oldest Colby young, and my 20s were a struggle, and it was very hard, and I don't think I ever really saw light at the end of the tunnel as far as circumstantial things with, you know, really anything, financial, being a single parent, all of those things. it was just really difficult. And knowing then that I would be where I am today, and knowing that, you know, when you get into your 30s as a woman, you become more confident, you become more brave, you kind of turn into this whole other person, really. You kind of grow. I feel like that's where like I've grown up the most, in my 30s. And that's what I would tell myself. It gets better, it gets easier. You'll get there, just give it time. Is your oldest going to college or planning on leaving? Right now, college is kind of up in the air. He's not planning on it right now, but he's not planning on it. It kind of is circumstantial. He is working right now, and his goal is to get a car, and he wants to get a car, so he's gonna save up for that, which his dad and I are going to help him, but he also needs to come up with the money himself, you know, at least a portion of it. I just believe in giving them, you know, I believe, for me, I want my kids to work towards something, even if, you know, they're only contributing maybe like a quarter of it. I will help in any way I can, but I'm not going to just give, because I think it's character building for him to have to, you know, save money and, you know, pick his own car and all that kind of stuff. So he is saving right now for a car, and then his next goal after that is to move out. He wants to get his own place. So within the next year or two, he wants to get his own place. And he also wants to buy something. Of course, when the market isn't nearly as bad as it is now, but he wants to, within the next few years, buy a house or like a townhouse himself. So he has a lot of big goals. He's working, he gets paid pretty well. His job, he enjoys his job a lot too, and there's, you know, a lot of room for him to move up. So I'm excited to see what the next few years brings for him, but he's not planning on leaving South Carolina, and he will likely be living with me for a few more years while he gets established and gets on his feet. What is your dream vacation? My dream vacation would be like maybe Bali or somewhere where there's like an island, you know, the cabins that are like in the water, right? Like there's like decks that you walk over the water, and the cabin's in the water, and it usually has like, the floor has like a glass, and you can see down into the ocean. And I dream of having a vacation at one of those places one day, and they're very expensive. Some of them I know in different locations are a little bit more affordable, but it's still expensive. That is my dream vacation. That's like my bucket list. I will do it one day. I might have to save for a few years just to be able to afford maybe 3 nights stay, but I will do it one day. That is my dream vacation. Are you dating, or is Chris dating? I just said I'm not dating, so that's answered. Chris, I don't believe is dating. It's not really a question I ask him. It's not really something we talk to each other about. He is obviously free to do whatever he wants, and we both have been very vocal with, you know, do what you want to do, live how you want to live. Neither one of us are telling each other, you know, what to do or what they shouldn't do or anything. I trust his judgment. He trusts my judgment when we do start dating. However, I don't think he's dating right now. But then again, that's just not really a conversation that we have with each other. And I definitely wouldn't really ask him, because it's not really any of my business. And I wouldn't expect him to pry into my business like that either. Are you getting any new tattoos? I am pretty sure while I'm on blood thinners, I cannot get any tattoos. However, I have always wanted to get sleeves. Always wanted to do that. It's always been like a bucket list goal of mine. And I was going to start them this year. However, with everything going on, I can't, because I have to wait till I'm off these blood thinners. What is the tattoo on your finger? So if I can get the camera to focus, it is a sugar skull. That's upside down. It is a sugar skull. It needs to be touched up. It's pretty old. I've had it for a long time. However, that's what it is. I get that question a lot. I guess it's not, it kind of looks like a blob whenever you look at it like that. However, I want to get some more finger tattoos. I love finger tattoos. And I really have an idea that I already want to do for this hand, but once again, I have to wait until I'm off these blood thinners. What's the next DIY project you're working on? The next project I'm working on, well, I'm currently working on the built-ins for the playroom. And probably within the next week or two, I'm going to refresh my bathroom. It's not really a DIY. I'm gonna do like an accent wall in one of the rooms in the bathroom, and then I'm gonna like new decor and stuff. So not really like, not a big thing. That'll be super easy and quick. However, the built-ins for the playroom, and then I plan on doing a makeover in the living room as well, just giving it a little facelift. Once again, an accent wall. And then I will move back into the playroom, and I want to paint the entire room, do an accent wall, probably a new couch and TV stand, and just really give that room a huge facelift. So that is the goal. And then after that is going to be my bedroom. So all of these goals, hopefully by summer, I'll be able to get them all done, since I'll have more time over the summer because the kids will be out of school. So hopefully then, but it also costs money to do this stuff. I use a lot of what I already have. So like I have a lot of paint and stuff. I'll use a lot of that stuff, but it costs a lot of money. So it also, I have to make sure that I have the money to do it as well. How are you and the kids doing during this separation? We're doing great. I think we have, in the last year, we have really gotten into a routine, and they're used to going to Chris's every weekend. They're used to being here all week, and we don't fight, we don't argue, we get along just fine. So there's no tension between us. So the kids don't really feel that. We probably get along better now than we did the last few years of our marriage. So I think for the kids, at first, I think it was scary for them, and it was hard for them to adjust because they just didn't understand what was going on. But as time has gone on and they see how we are becoming, like, we're more tolerating of each other. We don't bug each other as much because we don't see each other as much. So I think for the kids, it's probably a more pleasant experience. I'm sure they would love to have both their parents in the same house, don't get me wrong, but there's no tension. It's not high strung. There's not, you know, so I think for the kids, they're doing great. They're doing really good given the situation, and I'm doing great as well. What is your job? This is a question I get pretty frequently as well, and this is my job. YouTube is my job. My other channel, Happily Ever Becca, my cleaning channel, is obviously like my bread and butter. That's where I make most of my money. However, I do make money off of this channel as well. So being a YouTuber is my full-time job, and having 2 channels. And then I also create content for like TikTok and Instagram. That is more like, because I don't make money on those platforms, that's more like hobby, passion project. Hopefully one day I do make money off those platforms. However, they kind of get pushed on the back burner when I get really busy with work, because I don't make money on them. This is where I make my money. So, and believe it or not, YouTube is a lot of work. I spend hours upon hours doing YouTube, between sponsorships, you know, I'm constantly communicating with my management team, I'm filming content, I'm doing voiceovers, I'm uploading. There's a lot of back end stuff that you guys don't see us doing. However, it's a lot of work. I work every day of the week. I'm always doing something. So this is my job. Have you dated since your separation? No. Is there any chance you and Chris would get back together? I don't see one. I never say never, but it's almost a 0% chance of that ever happening. And nothing against him, nothing wrong with me. Just, I think we're different people. We want different things. We have different beliefs. We have just, unfortunately, throughout the years grown apart, and we're just such different people now that we don't really blend together very well, and I just don't see that working. So I don't think there would ever be a chance. How do you budget being a single mom with one income? Well, first I want to say Chris does help. Obviously, he's always been the breadwinner in our family, and he does help. He helps tremendously, and he takes care of his family. However, I have this job and I get paid pretty well. I cannot complain. This is probably the most money I have made aside from any other job I've ever had. So thankfully, I am able to stand on my own two feet. Today's economy, it makes it very, very hard, but I budget. I'm very cautious of what I spend. I make sure I save, and I make sure that I am frugal where I need to be. I love to thrift. I love shopping a sale. I just try and do all of those things. How do you handle loneliness as a single mom? To be 100% honest with you, I'm not lonely in the least bit. I'm not lonely at all. The thought of a relationship honestly makes me feel the opposite. It feels like work and time, which I don't have enough time to put in the work, and I don't have time to give to somebody right now. I think I stay away from like that lonely feeling because, you know, I have 3 kids who keep me very busy. I have a group of girlfriends who are always there for me. Every weekend I have plans with them. Every weekend I'm doing something with them. Some of them have husbands too, so I do something with them and their husbands. And then I have my kids. So I'm so busy. It's just I wake up and I'm go, 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 go. And that's pretty much every day. So it's hard to get lonely. And then of course, my 2 younger boys, they sleep in my bed every night. They go to sleep in their own room and then they come to my room by the end of the night. So it's not like I'm sleeping alone. I usually have 1 or 2 children cuddled up next to me. So I don't really get lonely. Thankfully, maybe one day, but I'm not there yet. All right, everyone, that is it for today's Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I answered all of y'all's questions or whatever y'all were curious to know. And thank you so much for being here and supporting my channel and giving me the opportunity to have this job, because I'm so grateful and thankful for it, and so grateful and thankful for you being here because that makes it possible. If you're new, I hope you choose to hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.